Hello and welcome back to Scholastically Natalie. If you're interested in reading, writing books, D&D, occasional game stuff, you're in the right place. Hopefully you'll enjoy this video and you'll want to stick around for more. So today we're just continuing the trend of looking at all the things I used to like when I was younger, with Chronicles of Ancient Darkness, the first book, which is Wolf Brother by Michelle Paver. I distinctly remember absolutely loving this series. When I was younger. I can't even remember what grade it was. I have such strong images still, like, in my head from some of the books, because this is, I think, a 7-book series. I still had to wait for, the last book to come out for a couple years. It took a while, but then I'd forgotten everything that happened in the previous books. It's really cool. It is set in kind of like a fantasy Native American type of setting. It's really neat. Okay, so this is the blurb on the back of the book. The epic journey of boy and wolf begins. 6,000 years ago, evil stalks the land. According to legend, only 12-year-old Torak and his wolf cub companion can defeat it. Their journey together takes them through deep forests, across giant glaciers, and into dangers they never imagined. Oh, that's supposed to be D, not an S. Torak and Wolf are terrified of their mission, but if they do not battle to save their world, who will? So today we're just going to look at chapter 1 of Wolf Brother. Shouldn't be too long because this is definitely written for a younger audience. So, Torak woke with a jolt from a sleep he'd never meant to have. The fire had burned low. He crouched in the fragile shell of light and peered into the looming blackness of the forest. He couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything. Had it come back? Was it out there now, watching him with its hot, murderous eyes? He felt hollow and cold. He knew that he badly needed food and that his arm hurt and his eyes were scratchy with tiredness, but he couldn't really feel it. All night he'd guarded the wreck of the spruce bow shelter and watched his father bleed. How could this be happening? Only yesterday. They'd pitched camp in the blue autumn dusk. Torak had made a joke and his father was laughing. Then the forest exploded, ravens screamed, pines cracked, and out of the dark beneath the trees surged a deeper darkness, a huge rampaging menace in bare form. Suddenly death was upon them, a frenzy of claws, a welter of sound to make the ears bleed. In a heartbeat the creature had smashed their shelter to splinters. In a heartbeat it had ripped a ragged wound in his father's side. Then it was gone, melting into the forest as silently as mist. But what kind of bear stalks men, then vanishes without making the kill? What kind of bear plays with its prey? And where was it now? Torak couldn't see beyond the firelight, but he knew that the clearing too was a wreck of snapped saplings and trampled bracken. He smelled pine blood and clawed earth. He heard the soft, sad bubbling of the stream 30 paces away. The bear could be anywhere. Beside him, his father moaned. Slowly he opened his eyes and looked at his son without recognition. Torak's heart clenched. Fa, it's me, he stammered. How do you feel? Pain convulsed his father's lean brown face. His cheeks were tinged with gray, making the clan tattoos stand out lividly. Sweat matted his long, dark hair. His wound was so deep that as Torak clumsily staunched it with beard moss, he saw his father's guts glistening in the firelight. He had to grit his teeth to keep from retching. He hoped Fa didn't notice, but of course he did. Fa was a hunter. He noticed everything. Torak, he breathed. His hand reached out, his hot fingers clinging to Torak's as eagerly as a child. Torak swallowed. Sons clutch their father's hands, not the other way around. He tried to be practical, to be a man instead of a boy. I've still got some yarrow leaves, he said, fumbling for his medicine pouch with his free hand. Maybe that'll stop keep it. You're bleeding too. Doesn't hurt, lied Torak. The bear had thrown him against a birch tree, bruising his ribs and gashing his left forearm. Torak, leave. Now, before it comes back. Torak stared at him. He opened his mouth, but no sound came. You must, said his father. No, I can't, Torak, I'm dying. I'll be dead by sunrise. Torak gripped the medicine pouch. There was a roaring in his ears. Fa, give me what I need for the death journey. Then get your things. The death journey. No. But his father's face was stern. "My bow," he said, "3 arrows. You keep the rest. Where I'm going, hunting's easy." There was a tear in the knee of Torak's buckskin leggings. He dug his thumbnail into the flesh. It hurt. He forced himself to concentrate on that. "Food," gasped his father. "The dried meat. You take it all." Torak's knee had started to bleed. He kept digging. He tried not to picture his father on the death journey. He tried not to picture himself alone in the forest. He was only 12 summers old. He couldn't survive on his own. He didn't know how. "Torak, move!" Blinking furiously, Torak reached for his father's weapons and laid them by his side. He divided up the arrows, pricking his fingers on the sharp flint points. Then he shouldered his quiver and bow and scrabbled in the wreckage for a small, black basalt axe. His hazelwood pack had been smashed in the attack. He'd have to cram everything else into his jerkin or tie it to his belt. He reached for his reindeer hide sleeping sack. "Take mine," murmured his father. "You never did repair yours. And swap knives." Torak was aghast. "Not your knife. You'll need it." "You'll need it more. And it'll be good to have something of yours on the death journey. Fa, please, don't." In the forest, a twig snapped. Torak spun around. The darkness was absolute. Everywhere he looked, the shadows were bear-shaped. No wind, no birdsong, just the crackle of the fire and the thud of his heart. The forest itself was holding its breath. His father licked the sweat from his lips. "It's not here yet," he said. "Soon. It will come for me soon. Quick. The knives." Torak didn't want to swap knives. That would make it final. But his father was watching him with an intensity that allowed no refusal. Clenching his jaw so hard that it hurt, Torak took his own knife and put it into Fa's hand. Then he untied the buckskin sheath from his father's belt. Fa's knife was beautiful and deadly, with a blade of banded blue slate shaped like a willow leaf, and a haft of red deer antler that was bowed with elk sinew for a better grip. As Torak looked down at it, the truth hit him. He was getting ready for a life without Fa. "I'm not leaving you," he cried. "I'll fight it. No. No one can fight this bear." Ravens flew up from the trees. Torak forgot to breathe. "Listen to me," hissed his father. "A bear, any bear, is the strongest hunter in the forest. You know that. But this bear, much stronger." Torak felt the hairs on his arms rise. Looking down into his father's eyes, he saw the tiny scarlet veins, and at the centers, the fathomless dark. "What do you mean?" he whispered. "What?" "It is possessed." His father's face was grim. He didn't seem like Fa anymore. "Some demon from the other world has entered it and made it evil." An ember spat. The dark trees leaned closer to listen. "A demon?" said Torak. His father shut his eyes, mustering his strength. "It lives only to kill," he said at last. "With each kill, its power will grow. It will slaughter everything. The prey, the clans, all will die. The forest will die." He broke off. "In one moon, it will be too late. The demon, too strong." "One moon, but what?" "Think, Torak. When the red eye is highest in the night sky, that's when demons are strongest. You know this. That's when the bear will be invincible." He fought for breath. In the firelight, Torak saw the pulse beating in his throat, so faint, as if it might stop at any moment. "I need you to swear something," said Fa. "Anything." Fa swallowed. "Head north, many day walks. Find the mountain of the world spirit." Torak stared at him. "What?" His father's eyes opened, and he gazed into the branches overhead as if he saw things there that no one else could. "Find it," he said again. "It's the only hope. But no one's ever found it. No one can. You can." "How? I don't. Your guide will find you." Torak was bewildered. Never before had his father talked like this. He was a practical man, a hunter. "I don't understand any of this," he cried. "What guide? Why must I find the mountain? Will I be safe there? Is that it? Safe from the bear?" Slowly, Fa's gaze left the sky and came to rest on his son's face. He looked as if he was wondering how much more Torak could take. You're so young, he said. I thought I had more time. So much I haven't told you. Don't hate me for that later. Torak looked at him in horror. Then he leapt to his feet. I can't do this on my own. Shouldn't I try to find— No, said his father with startling force. All your life I've kept you apart, even from our own wolf clan. Stay away from men. If they find out what you can do— What do you mean? I don't— No time, his father cut in. Now swear on my knife. Swear that you will find the mountain or die trying. Torak bit his lip hard. East through the trees, a gray light was growing. Not yet, he thought in panic. Please, not yet. Swear, hissed his father. Torak knelt and picked up the knife. It was heavy. A man's knife, too big for him. Awkwardly, he touched it to the wound on his forearm. Then he put it to his shoulder where the strip of wolf fur, his clan creature, was sewn to his jerkin. In an unsteady voice he took his oath. I swear by my blood on this blade and by each of my 3 souls that I will find the mountain of the world spirit, or die trying. His father breathed out. Good. Good. Now, put the death marks on me. Hurry. The bear, not far off. Torak felt the salty sting of tears. Angrily, he brushed them away. I haven't got any ochre, he mumbled. Take mine. In a blur, Torak found the little antler-tined medicine horn that had been his mother's. In a blur, he yanked out the black oak stopper and shook some of the red ochre into his palm. Suddenly he stopped. I can't. You can. For me. Torak spat into his palm and made a sticky paste of the ochre, the dark red blood of the earth. Then he drew the small circles on his father's skin that would help the souls recognize each other and stay together after death. First, as gently as he could, he removed his father's beaver hide boots and drew a circle on each heel to mark the name soul. Then he drew another circle over the heart to mark the clan soul. This wasn't easy, as his father's chest was scarred from an old wound, so Torak managed only a lopsided oval. He hoped that would be good enough. Last, he made the most important mark of all, a circle on the forehead to mark the Nanuak, the world soul. By the time he finished, he was swallowing tears. Better, murmured his father. But Torak saw, with a clutch of terror, that the pulse in his throat was fainter. You can't die, Torak burst out. His father gazed at him with pain and longing. Fa, I'm not leaving you, Torak. You swore an oath. Again, he closed his eyes. Now, you keep the medicine horn. I don't need it anymore. Take your things. Fetch me water from the river. Then go. I will not cry, Torak told himself, as he rolled up his father's sleeping sack and tied it across his back, jammed his axe into his belt, stuffed his medicine pouch into his jerkin. He got to his feet and looked about for the water skin. It was ripped to shreds. He'd have to bring water and a dock leaf. He was about to go when his father murmured his name. Yes, Fa? Remember, when you're hunting, look behind you. I always tell you. He forced a smile. You always forget. Look behind you. Yes? Torak nodded. He tried to smile back. Then he blundered through the wet bracken toward the stream. The light was growing and the air smelled fresh and sweet. Around him the trees were bleeding, oozing golden pine blood from the slashes the bear had inflicted. Some of the tree spirits were moaning quietly in the dawn breeze. Torak reached the stream, where mist floated above the bracken, and willows trailed their fingers in the cold water. Glancing quickly around, he snatched a dock leaf and moved forward, his boots sinking into the soft red mud. He froze. Beside his right boot was the track of a bear, a front paw, twice the size of his own head, and so fresh that he could see the points where the long, vicious claws had bitten deep into the mud. Look behind you, Torak. He spun around. Willows, antler, fur. No bear. A raven flew down onto a nearby bough, making him jump. The bird folded its stiff black wings and fixed him with a beady eye. Then it jerked its head, croaked once, and flew away. Torak stared into the direction it had seemed to indicate. Dark yew, dripping spruce, dense, impenetrable, but deep within, no more than 10 paces away, a stir of branches. Something was in there. Something huge. He tried to keep his panicky thoughts from skittering away, but his mind had gone white. The thing about a bear, his father always said, is that it can move as silently as breath. It could be watching you from 10 paces away and you'd never know. Against a bear, you have no defenses. You can't run faster. You can't climb higher. You can't fight it on your own. All you can do is learn its ways and try to persuade it that you're neither threat nor prey. Torak forced himself to stay still. Don't run. Don't run. Maybe it doesn't know you're here. A low hiss. Again, the branches stirred. He heard the stealthy rustle as the creature moved toward the shelter, toward his father. He waited in rigid silence as it passed. Coward, he shouted inside his head. You let it go without even trying to say fa. But what could you do, said the small part of his mind that could still think straight. Fa knew this would happen. That's why he sent you for water. He knew it was coming for him. Torak, came his father's wild cry. Run! Crows burst from the trees. A roar shook the forest, on and on, till Torak's head was splitting. Fa, he screamed. Run! Again the forest shook. Again came his father's cry. Then suddenly it broke off. Torak jammed his fist in his mouth. Through the trees he glimpsed a great dark shadow in the wreck of the shelter. He turned and ran. And that is the end of chapter 1 of Wolf Brother. It's 12 pages long. If you were here for the last book we looked at, Into the Land of the Unicorns, you will notice that both of these young adult books did indeed start out with a in media res, drop you in the action, get you invested, and then end with a cliffhanger. And interestingly enough, both of them have featured an older mentor figure immediately, either being left behind or dying, which I do think is an interesting trend. It might just be more of the fantasy genre, or just of the books that I like to read, but I at least think those are interesting commonalities. I'm gonna be honest, when I was rereading this, I was like, I don't even remember the bear. I remember the mountain, but I have had no memory of the bear. I forgot how Torak wound up becoming a wolf brother, essentially, which I guess I just have more memories of the second book than the first one, because I think that the second book was so good for me. But yes, I really wanted to kind of like look at this book. I don't know if I should read more of it out loud for you guys, or if I should just kind of review it. I don't know, I'm feeling very nostalgic and kind of like, I just kind of want to read some easy books more recently. I don't have a good reason. I tried reading more of Vindication of the Rights of Woman, and my brain said no. So instead, for reading some nice feel-good young adult books, except that first chapter wasn't really feel-good, I apologize. Or just having some nice nostalgia feelings. But anyways, let me know what you think, if this is a series you're interested in, if you've read it before, if you've heard of it before. I was reminded on this when I was on a Reddit book sub, and somebody was asking for, like, recommendations for, like, a younger age group, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Native American Skinwalker one. What's it called? And I googled so much. It was so hard to find, because the word I thought they used was Skinwalker, and it was not. So then I just ended up finding a bunch of Skinwalker legends, till finally I found the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness, and I ordered it immediately from Better World Books, along with Gabby and his Adultolescence. Oh, by the way, if you are buying books, if you want books, especially if you're in college and you're looking for, like, some pretty common textbooks, Better World Books is a great website to buy from. They donate one book to people in need for every 2 books you buy. They're all secondhand, gently used, kind of like sourced from all over, and they really do offer you great deals. I think I got Adultolescence for like $5, and I got Wolf Brother for like $4, so again, great deals on books. I'm sad because I wanted to buy this one manga series that I adore. I'm thinking about making a video on it because I just really wanted to read it again, and they don't print them in English. So I literally can't buy them. I can buy the Japanese one, but that seems a little pointless to me because I still can't read them. But I do want to give the mangaka money, so I might just buy it anyways. But it's called Jinju Horsuden, and I'm gonna have to make a video about it. Oh my god, it's so good. I love it so much. But yes, thanks for coming to chill with us. This was a pretty low intensity, not too in-depth discussion about Wolf Brother. I did highlight 2 quotes that I really like that I think that the author phrased really well. I love this first chapter because it gives you such a nice, like, immersive look at, like, Torak's mind, and it provides you with just the right amount of detail for, like, an action sequence, which took me forever to kind of figure out, and I'm pretty sure I'm still not doing well at, because I currently have like 3 paragraphs describing dragons in the thing that I'm trying to write. But I picked these ones because I loved the ominous feeling that we got on the first half of page 5 with this description of darkness and the forest holding its breath, and I loved that. It was such a good, like, hair raiser. Like, the entire time reading this chapter, like, my hair kind of, like, stood up. I got chills. And then this expression of, like, grief and sadness, I feel like that was also conveyed so well during this chapter. And the second half of page 5 really expressed it for me. So I think it's a good way to kind of, like, introduce kids to, like, emotions and intensities and description. I don't know. I just love this series so much. I'm excited to see if I still love it as an adult. I just have so many fond feelings towards it from when I read it the first time. But okay, friends, that's all I have for you for today. If you liked this video, give me a like. If you have some comments, tell me about your experience with young adult books. Do you think it's kind of weird that I'm rereading them? Do you have any thoughts on what books you'd like to see me read? What was your favorite young adult series? What's a niche young adult book or book series that you read? I feel like Wolf Brother is kind of niche, but I also don't know if it is or not. So let me know. If you're interested in seeing more content from me, hit that subscribe button. Oh, that felt so weird to say. Otherwise, Scholastically Natalie is